Welcome, Chef Donn. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I'm going to be sure to put a link down below so people can see the story that I just did about birria. And we were just talking before we started recording. I was like, I have a problem pronouncing this. Can't roll my R's, but it is birria tacos and birria, quesadilla. And I think that this is something I thought we could just jump right in because I think not everybody knows what this is. This is a trend that I've been seeing. If you had to explain to somebody who's never experienced it, what is birria?
I would say it's just basically a Mexican beef stew that's stuffed in a taco. That's the simplest way to say it. But it's
And what's
sort of,
cool about it, there's like the element of sort of like the consomme or like a dip on the side. So if people are familiar with a French dip sandwich, like this is kind of maybe the Mexican version of that, would you say?
yep, totally. And
Definitely. So how did you first find out about it? You are in upstate New York area. So where did you see it and how did you find out about it?
well, originally before I moved up here, I was from the DC area.
Okay.
So over there, it was already a thing.
Oh yeah.
And when I came up here, there was nothing like it around here. So we're looking for handheld options for the kids up here. So I just kind of try to keep up with the trends, and then we did a little tasting, and it just went great.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it is a trend that's definitely in the bigger cities like DC. And there's like so many new food things happening in DC all the time. There's a lot of new restaurant openings and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and then take me back to when you were discussing trends with the great Nick Salvani, who is one of ADC's like main marketing people. So you told him about it and he had heard of it too. So tell me about that conversation.
So yeah, we like to shoot ideas back and forth with each other. I told him about that. He's heard about it. We basically just set up a tasting at my account. I did the traditional birria taco, and I was thinking, I was like, what other stews can we stuff in in taco shells? So we did that. We did a Puerto Rican chicken stew. We did a vegetarian one, which all came out pretty well. We did a Peruvian chicken one as well.
Ooh.
The Puerto Rican stew, the pollo de guiso, if I'm saying it correctly, is so good. But that's so we tasted all of them. We did a test run at our account, and it went so well. We just programmed it out, and it's just been selling.
Very cool. So the first one you did, was it the traditional goat that they always use?
No, we did beef,
Yeah.
just so
Yeah.
people can be more familiar with it.
Yeah. And then you branched out into the chicken, which I think is really cool. And you have a vegetarian option also, right? Can you
Yes.
talk about that one?
Yeah, we wanted to be more diversified, I would say, with our selections. So we did tofu meat with a vegetable broth consomme, full of vegetables, just basically like a vegetarian taco meat.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool. And the chicken one sounds interesting also. And here in Lorain, Ohio, where I live, there is a Puerto Rican restaurant that has birria. So I think there is some crossover there. I think there's in general, though, Puerto Rican food is pretty different from Mexican food, but there are some commonalities in there. So that the chicken one sounds particularly interesting to me.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Although I'm partial to the beef and chicken
Oh, I'm
one.
sorry, go on.
Uh, what's in the chicken one was just packed full of flavor. So that has to be my absolute favorite.
That's what I was gonna say. What are some of the other like aromatics that go in there? Like what is used across like just in the stew to give it that flavor?
Um, we'd use green olives, the pimento stuffed green olives in there with little chopped tomatoes. We have oregano, bay leaves, turmeric, cumin, coriander. It's just
Yeah.
all the traditional herbs. And
Hmm.
I think the olives make it themselves.
I was
So
gonna say that's cool, and that's my daughter would love that because she is an olive fanatic. Like she'll drink the olive juice out of ever since she was little. It's like it's kind of her thing. She's the brine girl. So I wanted to ask you kind of your origin story. Like, how did you get into cooking professionally, and where did it all begin? How did you get here?
well, my uncle back home, it was classically trained French chef. So I was about 15 and just had some food at his restaurant, and it literally blew my mind. I was never had a piece of salmon taste so good.
Oh yeah.
So I asked him how he made it. He showed me, and then I just started getting into cooking after that. Went to the Art Institute to for culinary school.
Mhm.
I got my foot in the door with a pretty renowned chef in DC, Chef Maru. He's been on Food Network a few times,
Mhm.
Bobby Flay, and all that stuff.
Cool.
He taught me how to refine my skills, and then he sent me off to Switzerland to go work at a French restaurant over there. And I came back. I ran a couple restaurants in DC, but I had two kids, two young kids, and a stay-at-home wife, and she felt bad that she's taking care of the kids by herself. So I kind of try to slow my lifestyle down, and
Good for you. Yeah, especially those late nights with the restaurant life that kind of doesn't mix very well with little toddlers at all. And I can
totally.
imagine your wife wasn't thrilled with that, with your hours, I bet. Because
Yeah,
that's
so
hard work with the little kids. You're in the trenches there. That's very, very tough work.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so we moved up to upstate because this is where she is originally from, and I found American Dining Creations, and I've been with them ever since.
Yeah, such an amazing company. Like we
Yeah.
certainly keep up with everything they do here at Food Management Magazine. Like
Mhm.
there's always cool ideas, and like you're a big part of that. So what are some things that are inspiring you now, like that you'd like to try? We talked about the birria. What are some
Mhm.
other things that you're kind of like that are bobbing up on your radar that you'd like to do?
Well, what I like to do is I go back home every now and then and just go hit my usual spots and see what's coming up there. And I still have my chef friends that are down there that are like, cutting edge. They're the ones starting trends down there. So, I follow them and, try to keep up with them. So that's basically what I do. Food wise right now, I think it's going just more. Everyone's still into birrias right now. I'm looking towards like maybe fries, like loaded fry place, but from different regions.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that people are so, because I know during the pandemic it was kind of like everybody just kept saying like comfort food, like we just want, do you think, I feel like that's going to continue. What do you
Yeah,
think? People are still gonna want
I totally agree. Um,
Mhm.
it's just kind of moved away from the whole fine dining stuff. It's just straight comfort now, but just good food.
Yeah,
Good food.
yeah.
That's what it is now.
Sure. And it made me think of when you mentioned the classical French training, a trend that we're seeing, because I also write for Restaurant Hospitality Magazine, which is for independent restaurants.
Mhm,
And we do this restaurants we're dying to try. And we
mhm,
just noticed the editor there, she and I were just like, there's so many French restaurants coming out. Like everything is like a brasserie or a bistro.
uh-huh,
And I was like, we're speculating, like, are people kind of, is it sort of like a back to basics, at least to like what American culinary training was for
mhm.
so many chefs? Um, what's your favorite French dish to make, and or one of the most challenging ones that's that classical French cooking?
Let me see. I don't know. My favorite. I love escargot. I don't know why, but it's my favorite, and it's so simple to make. Like the parsley butter, and you stuff it in the shell. It's like it's my favorite. I don't know. Like
Oh yeah.
everyone, I I I was in French class. We took a French trip to a restaurant, and I ordered it. Just for fun, and everybody's laughing at the snail, but
Right.
I ate it, and it just blew my mind. It's so,
You
it's just
weren't
like
laughing anymore. You were like, this escargot. It's amazing.
yeah, it's so good.
I can't say that I've had it that much. I don't know, maybe once or twice. I've had frog legs once.
Frog legs are good too.
Yeah, yeah.
Good too.
It's I
I
mean, there's
but
there's so many different things that go into just that French cuisine, and like there's the techniques from it, and then you can
Yeah.
sort of fusion it up too. So there's I guess
Mhm.
there's some possibilities there. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that trend
Yep.
for sure. And we're also going to keep an eye on you because you are one of our chefs to watch. So I think we're at about time. I could talk to you all day, but I'm going to let you get on with your busy day of work. And we're gonna be keeping up with you in the future for sure. Looking forward to see what you do. So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. All right.